Hello, hello. How are you today, everybody? How is your week? What are you doing this week? And do you have any plans for the weekend, for this weekend? Can you share in the chat? Just let me change the... Okay, good. Hello, hello. Any plans? Last week I was in Odessa, and this week I'm planning to chill in Kiev. Actually, I studied chilling in Kiev yesterday. What about you? Any plans for this week? Can you share with me? Mm-hmm. Why is not everybody writing? It's been... Oh, I will go to the cafe with my best friend. Good. Cool. That's cool. Does anybody plan to go to the seaside? I'm going to Bulgaria. Good. I like Bulgaria. I like sunny beach and Burgas and Ahiloi is also cool. Ravda is also a great town, a seaside town, I should say, because apart from the sea, nothing interesting is there. But still, okay. Good luck. Have a nice vacation there. Have fun. What about others, people? What about others? Nobody's there. Okay. So actually, this week, starting from today, we are having a gala project week. And during the next week, you are going to send your projects, and the best project will be awarded with a present. So you will get the present for the best and for the most creative project of all. The topic I'm going just to share with you. So this week and this webinar, we are going to talk about self-presenting skill. And today we are going to look. We are going to discuss a little bit this topic. After that, we're going to talk about personal branding skill, tips, downsides, and the importance of personal branding. Self-introduction speech, some practical tips. And here is the self-presentation practice. So you are going to present and to practice in a Google Disk, and it will be your gala project, the last project of our summertime. That's why you are going to listen to today's webinar, have some practical tips, have some practical pieces of advice which you can apply to your self-presentation and personal brand. So the topic of gala project will be personal brand or self-presentation. Choose anything you like. The format is any format you like. Any format you like, any format which you think will present yourself in a creative way. For example, it can be Instagram profile, your Instagram post, or it can be a video, it can be a presentation or anything else. So anything you like, anything you think will be creative, please welcome. I'm going to read, I'm going to enjoy, and the best and most creative, our teachers will choose and will vote for the most creative project of all. Okay, good. So you are going to receive. Here is the QR code for this Google folder. Can you please scan it to get to your Google folder? And to send me this I'm going to the seaside, I will go to the cafe. Okay, everybody. Somebody is writing, I'm going to Montenegro. Cool. Okay, good. Right. Okay, let's continue speaking about that. Can you please type in the chat box? How often do you have to present yourself, and what do you usually say as your self-presentation? How often do you have to present yourself, and what do you usually say? Can you please type in the chat box? Speaking about me as a teacher, I have to present myself quite often to new students, to new groups, to new people, to new colleagues, and I'm presenting myself quite often. And the technique that I developed, and it's not a technique, it's an icebreaker activity that I developed and made up for my students. I have a presentation with my funny photos of me and 9 facts about me. But the thing is that 3 of these facts are false. And actually, the task of my students will be to work together with new people and to have a look at the photos, have a look at me, look at how I speak, observe my actions, and guess which facts are false and which facts are true. After that, when they guessed, I introduce myself with the help of these facts. I somehow elaborate on these facts, tell which one are false, and tell the true facts about me. So in such a way, I tell about myself, I present myself, but in an interactive way, which helps somehow to get together with my students, to be close to them. And funny photos help them to understand that I'm on the same wavelength. I'm the person who they shouldn't be scared of, who they shouldn't be, who they should be just friends, or in a friendly relationships with me, in a positive and friendly relationship. It doesn't mean that I'm a teacher and they have to be scared to make mistakes, or somehow I'm the best uh, English source of all. No, just I want to be the same as they are. So it's my technique somehow to present myself in a friendly and positive way. What about you? Can you type in the chat box what do you usually say when you self-present yourself? Type in the chat box. And the next question, please. When I will be reading your answers, what's your perfect self-presentation? How should it be? How should it look like? No, how, but what it should look like. And what are the main characteristics of perfect self-presentation? I will be back just in a second. Okay. So what about maybe pretty often? Sophia writes, I have many extra classes and I travel quite often. Usually I just tell who I am. Who I am. I am. We have it as a usual sentence, it's not a question. And then if conversation continues, I can say more about myself. I can tell more about myself. Good. That's cool. I say that I know many languages. Interesting. Good. What about the perfect self-presentation? What do you think? The skills, self-presentation when you show the best, your best sides, or your best skills. Good. For me, I have three aspects that that distinguish the best self-presentation. First of all, it should be positive. Second, it should be sincere. And third, natural. So for me, these are the most important aspects of perfect self-presentation. First, it's sincere because you tell true stuff about yourself. You show the person that you want to tell about yourself, that you are open, that you show your true feelings and true emotions to the person. Natural, it should be natural because it shouldn't look like you learned it by heart. And you say and you tell stuff that is like was typed before, or it was somehow recorded for you. It's like the recorder. So it should should flow smooth. It should flow smoothly, one into another. And it should be well structured, so it's natural. For me, it's natural, sincere, natural, and positive. Of course, positive, because well, if you are not positive, that's not very good. I usually tell about my hobbies and the little bit features of character. Good, right, Carolina, well done. So positive, everything should be in a positive mood, in a positive manner. The atmosphere should linger around, positive atmosphere should linger around, and it will help you to make this connection, to click together with your audience, to hit the audience, and it will help you to attract, to create the great first impression. That's it. What about the last one? Perfect, it's several words about yourself. So being short, right? Not to make people bored, right? Okay, good. Thanks a lot. And the last one, why it's so important nowadays to self-present. Why being able to deliver great self-presentation is so important nowadays. Can you please type in the chat box? It's interesting for me to know your answer, because because I have my own special vision on that. Can you type in the chat box? Nobody's participating. You may have more friends or new people around you. Okay, good. Making more friends. What else? Making more friends. What else? To sell your product or get a job. Good. So this is what I was thinking about, and I wanted to hear from you. You should understand, you are now, it seems to me everybody is at school, and you should understand that this world and this society is consumer society, and it's irreversible. And everybody and all our society is divided into two parties. The first one are buyers, the second are sellers. Sometimes you can switch your role. Sometimes you can be a seller when you are looking for a job or you want to sell your product, right? Andrei was correct. And sometimes you can be a buyer. Sometimes you can buy, and you look at this self-presentation so you can buy something. And that's why you need to have a great self-presentation to sell yourself for a reason at a reasonable price. So you need to sell yourself at a reasonable price, at a quite high price in order to survive, right? So that was my vision, most important vision, which we should all understand. That's why we need to have a good, decent self-presentation. Let's go. So let's have a look at this aspect of self-branding. So personal branding is about taking responsibility over how you present yourself. If you strive to position yourself as an expert or become an influencer within your niche, self-branding can help you to increase reputation as a leader. By showcasing unique character traits and having an active presence online, you can work towards building a personal brand that resonates with people all over the world. This webinar and today we are going to have a look at some guidelines and steps towards branding yourself with the help of 10 personal branding tips. So what's that? Personal branding. Personal branding is the practice of creating a brand around a person rather than a business entity. So a person itself is a brand, not like a brand, not business like Apple, right? But Steve Jobs, for example, is a self-brand. Or not Tesla, but Elon Musk is a self-brand. So personal branding is used to help further people's careers by positioning them as an expert within their industry. By developing a personal brand, a person can grow their social following to help them secure a better job, sell more products, grow, what else? Increase better opportunities in their career. Building a personal brand is not something that happens overnight. It can take lots of planning, months of hard work, money to start seeing the results. Sometimes you need to improve your personal brand after receiving feedback. This type of branding can also be called self-branding. And this will be used interchangeably today in this webinar, branding and self-branding. So probably they would mean today the same thing, but actually they are not so close. Sophia writes, because when you present yourself in an engaging way, people will respect you and your job product, right? Almost the same. To grow your own personal brand, you can write a personal brand statement. A personal brand statement sets out who your audience will be, the value you want to give them, and why people should follow you. While building your personal brand, you should pull from this 1-2 sentence sentence statement to ensure that you are remaining true to it. So why self-branding is so important? Personal branding is important because it helps to give person credibility. It's never been more competitive to land a new job or earn a paycheck. With more people building personal brands, you need to put yourself out there to get noticed. Personal branding can let recruiters find experts like you with ease, especially if you've been blogging brand yourself. If you are trying to land a higher position at a new company, you can showcase key data such as the number of followers you have, how much traffic your website gets, or other vital metrics, which can give you a competitive edge over your opponents or candidates. Think of it almost like an online portfolio about yourself. Branding yourself allows more people to get to know who you are and how you bring value. It can also help you land new opportunities like business deals or marketing partnerships that you wouldn't otherwise have, especially if you're a person of influence. Self-branding instills trust and credibility in your knowledge and your abilities. So companies know that partnering with you will improve their brand awareness. Branding yourself in an authentic way by showing your personality is an excellent way of differentiating yourself from others in your field and developing your personal brand. So we are going to talk a little bit more today about it. So with the development of different social technologies like blogs, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and other social media, they have enabled people to become known, to connect them directly with their audience, with their outreach, and build relationships on a global scale. The main reason why you need to become a brand and branding yourself, and that's the main reason why you have to develop your own self-presentation and self-branding. We are living in a world where people are looking to connect directly with others and hear each other's stories from the first person. To be the phenomenon, we are living in the paradoxical times, and the phenomenon is that we want this connection, a direct connection with others, with the influencer or with the blogger, and we can have it because probably the person is the same person as we are. Good. So how to improve your personal brand? Once you've started to work on your personal branding, feedback and ensuring your self-brand is aligned with your personal branding statement will help you to improve your progress. Personal branding has been hugely successful for many different people, but without your personal branding statement, it can be hard to know when you've achieved success in your endeavors. It's essential to know what progress looks like to improve your personal branding. Let's follow these steps to improve your personal brand. Research and create your personal branding statement. Define your audience at this stage and audit competitors that may exist for you. Build a personal branding strategy. Learn how to engage with your target audience and define what success will look like for you in 2 months, 9 months, or 2 years. Monitor your personal brand engagement. Promote positive participation and have a plan of action for negative remarks. Develop your personal brand. Aim to share your personal brand through social media, networking, outreach, and speaking opportunities. Consider blogging, vlogging, podcasts, and other ways that you could promote your personal brand in a way that your audience will consume the content quickly. Have a communication plan. Controlling your presence online can be time-consuming, so this plan will help you with the negative backlash and help you to easily provide information to partners that you will work with down the line. Measure your success regularly. Set some KPIs for personal brand success so that you know you are heading in the right direction. Celebrate even small wins to remain motivated to achieve more. So after doing all this, how do you know if you've been successful in building a personal brand? A few KPIs can help you. When a sale converts through your blog, when you are asked to speak at an event or a podcast as an expert, when someone refers you to a potential client, when a publication reaches out to invite you to guest blog, when people start mentioning you, tagging you in their articles, posts, stories, anything, videos, When people start mentioning online, on social, there are blog or other important media, as I said before. When speaking about blog, not a blog, but when speaking about self-branding, it's very important to take into account the issues that could hinder your success. That's why branding is not an easy feat, and it's time-consuming, slow, sometimes hard to stomach. Receiving negative feedback online can knock you even if you have a great communication plan. And sometimes you don't feel like being the brand you have built. Let's highlight a few things to consider when branding yourself so that you can improve your self-brand quickly. So not a very good thing to do is ignoring your other influences. So your opponents. Chances are you are not the only person in your industry building their personal brand, and others have been there longer. Do your research to make sure what you aim to achieve hasn't been done before. List your competitors, monitor them often to know what they are doing and see if you can borrow an idea or two from them. Identify potential partners who you can reach out to ask and ask for advice. So you don't waste time on worthless ventures. The next thing, ignoring your followers. Once you've built even a small following, small community, make sure you listen to what they're saying. If you promote a product and they don't like it, find out why and decide if it's the best product you partner with. Read the comments after your social media post to get a good idea of what your following enjoys, and use a search engine to search your name online. You might uncover something about yourself that you didn't know about before. Generating subpar content. Slacking off is never the right choice, and especially when you are trying to build a brand around your knowledge in the area. Keep yourself in tune with your industry, and if you are not a great writer, choose a different medium to promote yourself or hire a freelancer to help you up your game. Branding yourself wrong. Without the right research, you can end up creating a personal brand that nobody wants to get behind. If your industry is old-fashioned and you want to breathe life into it, make sure to research if this will be met with positivity. Go out into the industry and ask the hard questions first before diving into branding yourself the utterly wrong way. It's important to mention here that your personal brand should be your true self and not something that you create. The more natural you are, the easier it's to remain consistent over time. Not being consistent. Being consistent is the most critical element of self-branding. People who change their belief system at the drop of a hat cannot be trusted in what they say in their content. Trust is ultimately what followers want. Followers identify with specific thought structures. They follow people who think similarly to them, with the same mindset. If you change these fundamental beliefs, followers will not trust in your personal brand any longer. Forgetting the longer term. For a personal brand, long term is essential so you know where your brand is going. If you plan to provide how-to videos for makeup with your audience, being beginners or young people interested in improving the makeup abilities, do you want to advance these videos long-term as your audience advance, or will you be happy to remain at the same level, always providing beginner tutorials? These things should be thought about in the early stages, at the onset of your planning process. so you can slowly move in the right direction. Right. So can you please type in the chat box, what famous brand personalities do you know? And right, what famous brand personalities do you know? What are the most popular? And who comes to your mind first when you think of brand personalities? For example, the people who come to my mind are Nastya Ivleva, Dud. These are like the most famous for me. And really, they are influencers. Can you type in the chat box? Coco Chanel, Nikola Tesla, Kylie Jenner. Right. Sophia, thanks a lot for Jenner. Really, Kardashian family or Kardashian's family is the phenomenon of self-branding. They have created their self-brand and they have become a real self-brand. And after that, they began launching their businesses based on self-brand. Very good example. Thanks a lot. What do you think, or what do you need to consider when branding yourself? What are the criteria to follow in order to self-brand? What do you need to follow to self-brand? A Lamborghini. Good. I don't know who's Technoblade, but let it be. So what are the criteria? Be self-confident and not giving up. Good. And how the personal brand become known, we are going to talk about it now. Let it be. So the first tip which I want to highlight is being authentic. When it comes to self-branding, being authentic is essential. But what does it mean, being authentic? It means just being yourself, being me, you. Everyone's got their own quirk. Maybe you randomly burst into song in the middle of the conversation. Maybe you have a really different way of dressing up. There's something about you that makes you original. That makes you original. And if you are serious about branding yourself, now's the time to come to terms with your quirkiness. Truth is that special trait is what will make you stand out on a planet of 7 billion people. Celebrate your difference and let your true self show. Blogging for personal branding. Blogging for personal branding is one of strategy used by many of the top influencers. Why does it work? Why it's so popular? Well, today you might be a nobody with no voice, but if you consistently create content within your niche for at least 1 or 2 years, eventually you'll be building an audience around yourself. There's 2 ways to approach blogging for personal branding. First, you can build your own blog. This personal branding strategy will require the most upfront work, but it will ultimately be the most rewarding. Or you can write guest posts on top blogs within your niche. This will allow you to build an audience faster, but you don't own any of the virtual properties. So blogging is is a cool way to start self-branding because consistency is the main key to success. Provide value. When people say provide value, it usually sounds like fluff. Here's what it means. Say you are selling makeup products. You could either be the brand that solely runs ads, or you could be the makeup tutorial. You could make the makeup tutorial videos. Write articles about common makeup issues. Host a stream of makeup inspiration ideas for different seasons or events. While a customer could very well buy from a brand that solely runs ads, they're more likely to buy from people who run this influence blog, who provides value. Why? Because that influencer helped them and taught them something new even before they were ready to buy something. That brand is at top of mind. Step out of the spotlight. It seems a bit counterintuitive with what I was talking about, but sometimes a lot of spotlight can take toll on your life. Sometimes people need to miss you for a bit to understand and to realize how they need you, to which extent they need you in their daily life. Let's think of Taylor Swift, for example. Before her latest album, Reputation, she hadn't posted on her social media for about 2 years. So she simply stepped out of the spotlight as she started recognizing the toxic side of her fame. When building a personal brand, you'll realize that there is a downside to too much attention. It's okay to step out of the spotlight every now and then to build yourself back up. Be consistent. Consistency is the key and the secret sauce for winning personal brands that they have in common. Consistency isn't only about posting on social media every day. It's about unifying the brand look and messaging. Do all your social media posts look different, or do they look the same? Some will tell you that you need to have variety with your content, but truth is the more consistent you are, the easier it is to grow a following. If your favorite singer suddenly created a jazz album, you'd probably lose interest because you prefer the original music they created. Same with personal branding. Your audience will fall in love with the way you present content. If you change tunes, they'll jump ship. Network. it's very tough to master your branding if you never put yourself out there. Start that blog, hit up that meetup point, grab a cup of coffee with a stranger, mingle with people at different conferences, post on social media. The more you interact with people, the larger your network becomes. While you may be tempted to stick to a niche focused network, the smartest thing to do is to expand into other categories. You never know when you'll meet someone who offers a different perspective or whose expertise is in an area that you'll need to know more about down the road. Become a creator. Being controversial can result in a backlash or backfire. It's not always, it can somehow garner negative publicity. The safer way is to create content yourself, to become a creator. The best influencers are creators and doers. Start an online store, create the unique product, start the YouTube channel, commit to posting each week or write guest articles on notable blogs. Hiding behind your computer and spending your weekends watching Netflix isn't going to help you with self-branding. Be an expert. It can be hard, but it doesn't seem to be hard if you have an area of expertise. Every influencer has his or her own niche. If you have an online store selling tools, you have to make sure that you are an expert in carpentry, furniture design. If you sell car parts, you should probably build up expertise in the automotive industry so you can provide value. Build a brand around your own areas of expertise. If you worked at a hair salon for 5 years, so probably you are going to share experience on hair issues, selling hair products and other stuff. Amplify yourself. Earlier, we talked about authenticity. Amplifying yourself is the second step. In a crowded world, it can be hard to start out. Amplifying yourself is where you can take the essence of who you are and run wild with this. You are a risk. Let's take an example. You are a risk taker. If you want to build a personal brand around how you like taking risks, you might create content of you doing a bunch of daredevil activities, kind of like Nick Wallander tightropped across Niagara Falls, or Felix Baumgartner did a supersonic fall from edge of space. You might not do something as extreme as I said, but you do more extreme activities than an average person wouldn't do. Be social. The last one, be social. Personal brands can't be built without human interaction. Humanize your self-brand, your blog, your post, respond to the comments, answer questions of your followers. People want responses and they want them fast, quickly. It's important to humanize your personal brand. Building a personal brand can help elevate your business to new heights. By following a combination of the personal branding tips, such as being authentic, consistent, social, networking, you help increase your chances of success in your career. I know it can be scary to put yourself out, but the reward is much greater than the risk. You can have the power to really make an impact in the world. Your legacy lies only in your hands. So the next step is also self-introduction speech for your blog. And here are some tips to make your self-introduction speech perfect. Be visually appealing. Speak with conviction. Adopt the right language. Wear an upbeat mood. Become your best friend. Don't put yourself down. Ignore everyone else and focus only on yourself. Make some notes. Watch the timing. Not be concise and right. Breathe and relax. Trick yourself into being confident. Prepare and practice in readiness. Let's have a look at, I prepared for you some of the examples from favorite TV shows, from films, how the characters or how the actors present yourself. So maybe it could help you in your self-presentation.
Who are you? You wouldn't believe in me if I told you. Who are you? I'm Mr. Nobody, a man who doesn't exist. I'm Batman.
Harley Quinn, nice to meet you.
You can call me Joker.
As you no doubt have guessed, I am Morpheus.
It's an honor to meet you.
No, the honor is mine.
Lilo Dallas multitask.
Leela, multipass. She knows it's multipass. Leela Dallas.
Han Solo. I'm captain of the Millennium Falcon. Fast ship. You've never heard of the Millennium Falcon? I'm Captain Jack Sparrow.
Harry Potter. Cricket, you're Harry Potter. I'm Hermione Granger. And you are? Ron Weasley. Pleasure.
Hello. My name's Forrest Gump. You want a chocolate?
The name's Sherlock Holmes, and the address is 221B Baker Street.
The name's Bond. James Bond.
My very good honor to meet you, and you may call me V.
Voila!
I'm Gatsby.
And your turn will be in Google Docs that I showed you at the beginning of our webinar. And let's have a bunch of motivation for self-presentation from our TED Talk speakers. It's the expert in self-presentation, Diana Nerd. Let's have a look for the rest of 6 minutes. Also.
It's the 5th time I stand on this shore, the Cuban shore, looking out at that distant horizon, believing again that I'm going to make it all the way across that vast, dangerous wilderness of an ocean. Not only have I tried 4 times, but the greatest swimmers in the world have been trying since 1950. And it's still never been done. The team is proud of our 4 attempts. It's an expedition of some 30 people. Bonnie is my best friend and head handler, who somehow summons will, that last drop of will within me when I think it's gone, after many, many hours and days out there. The shark experts are the best in the world, large predators below. Now the box jellyfish, the deadliest venom in all of the ocean, is in these waters, and I have come close to dying from them on a previous attempt. The conditions themselves, besides the sheer distance of over 100 miles in the open ocean, currents and whirling eddies, and the Gulf Stream itself, the most unpredictable of all of the planet Earth. And by the way, it's amusing to me that journalists and people, before these attempts often, ask me, well, are you going to go with any boats or any people or anything? And I'm thinking, what are they imagining? That I'll just sort of do some celestial navigation and, carry a Bowie knife in my mouth, and I'll hunt fish and skin them alive and, eat them, and maybe drag a desalinization plant behind me for fresh water. Yes, I have a team. And the team is expert. And the team is courageous and brimming with innovation and scientific discovery, as is true with any major expedition on the planet. And we've been on a journey. And the debate has raged, hasn't it, since the Greeks of, isn't it what it's all about? Isn't life about the journey, not really the destination? And here we've been on this journey, and the truth is it's been thrilling. We haven't reached that other shore, and still our sense of pride and commitment, unwavering commitment. When I turned 60, the dream was still alive from having tried this in my 20s and dreamed it and imagined it. The most famous body of water on the earth today, I imagine, Cuba to Florida. And it was deep in my soul. And when I turned 60, it wasn't so much about the athletic accomplishment. It wasn't the sort of ego of, I want to be the first. That's always there, and it's undeniable. But it was deeper. It was, how much life is there left? Let's face it, we're all on a one-way street, aren't we? And what are we going to do? What are we going to do as we go forward to have no regrets looking back? And all this past year in training, I had that Teddy Roosevelt quote, to paraphrase it, floating around in my brain. And it says, you go ahead. You go ahead and sit back in your comfortable chair, and you be the critic. You be the observer, while the brave one gets in the ring and engages and gets bloody and gets dirty and fails over and over and over again, but yet isn't afraid and isn't timid and lives life in a bold way. And so, of course, I want to make it across. It is the goal. And I should be so shallow to say that this year, the destination was even sweeter than the journey. But the journey itself was worthwhile taking. And at this point, by this summer, everybody, scientists, sports scientists, endurance experts, neurologists, my own team, Bonnie, said it's impossible. It just simply can't be done. And Bonnie said to me, but if you're going to take the journey, I'm going to see you through to the end of it. So I'll be there. And now we're there. And as we're looking out, kind of a surreal moment before the first stroke, standing on the rocks at Marina Hemingway, the Cuban flag is flying above, all my teams out in their boats, hands up in the air. We're here. We're here for you. Bonnie and I look at each other and we say, this year the mantra is, and I've been using it in training, find a way. You have a dream, and you have obstacles in front of you, as we all do. None of us ever get through this life without heartache, without turmoil. And if you believe and you have faith, and you can get knocked down and get back up again, and you believe in perseverance as a great human quality, you find your way. And Bonnie grabbed my shoulders and she said, let's find our way to Florida. And we started. And for the next 53 hours, it was an intense, unforgettable life experience. The highs were high, the awe. I'm not a religious person, but I tell you, to be in the azure blue of the Gulf Stream, as if as you're breathing, you're looking down miles and miles and miles, to feel.
So she's a great motivator who crossed the Gulf Stream. And just like how your dreams, how your impossible goals can be turned into possible goals. So I'm waiting for your gala projects about self-presentation. Thanks a lot. We're doing something original. So I'm waiting for your projects. Thanks a lot for joining me today. Have a nice weekend and see you the next